To shut down schools until their demands are met by the Department of Education. The disgruntled parents say that they have been requesting for more teachers at understaffed schools and improvement of teaching facilities since 2014, and to date their demands have just not been met. Our reporter Lerato Thipa is in Port Elizabeth, and she's joined by a guest to give us a little bit more. She's actually moved from the previous school. Lerato, just tell us where you are exactly now.
A very good morning to Leanne. We're broadcasting live now from Bethvale Primary School, another school in the northern areas where parents are saying they're not shutting down schools but are rather preventing their pupils or their children from coming to school. But joining me this morning is a man who's really been in the forefront of trying to get justice for the pupils here at the northern areas. His name is Richard Draai, and he's the secretary of the Northern Areas Education Forum. Now, Richard, can you just take us through exactly what were the outcomes in the meeting you had with Premier Swala on Friday, and what is the latest concerning the northern area schools?
Good morning, Lerato. Good morning, viewers. We had a meeting with the Premier on Friday to express our concern around the issues of deliverables. I must state in the meeting now is that we have a forum that's now metro-wide. We have the Bishop of the Anglican Church, Bishop Bethlehem, with us, and also a pastor, respectable pastor, Neville Goldman, and Zweli Tom, Archdeacon Tom, in that meeting with the Premier. We expressed our concern around the education. The Premier has committed him because we were really blessed that the Premier was in the metro for the week with the start of the school, where the Premier visited various schools and have a fair idea of what the issues are. The Premier sent us a communication. We need to discuss that communication, where he committed himself to look at a delivery plan, implementation plan concerning the issues. So that's where it currently is. I stress with the Premier that the biggest concern, the biggest problem that we sit with as leaders in our areas is the position of trust, where the parents don't trust the Department of Education concerning the education that's handling education of their children. There's some serious issues that came from that over the years that parents said for 5 years we sit with the same problems and nothing's been done about it. But I think it's about time that something serious need to happen around the education of our children.
Now, Richard, you and I were talking earlier on, and you said that your child is at the school, and the ratio in your child's class is 47-1. Besides that issue, which is obviously a critical issue, what are some of the other issues that parents in the northern areas have that, if perhaps addressed, the shutdown or them preventing their children coming to school will perhaps stop?
Lerato, the biggest thing here we need to address, on Thursday night, the meeting was very volatile. It was very explosive, where parents were angry that we sit with the same problems now again. And what sparked the meeting or the thing was that the PPN, the Declaration for 2016, actually started the whole debate. My daughter is in a class where there's 47. The big concern around that is that we state from Thursday night the ratio should be 1-30. That's what the parents want. Linked to that is your special education need children, your ELSN learners. Take, for instance, now in the class where my daughter is in 47, if there's about 2 or 3 ELSN learners, the teacher won't get to them. The department has declared, the MEC made the declaration for 2016, where he stated that this is your numbers, and they made a mess of it. They made major errors with the PPN, and he apologized on Wednesday night when we met at St. Stephen's Church in New Brighton. We sat there till about 12 o'clock, where he apologized, where one school went from 939 to 944, but they took 8 teachers away. And he apologized, but that's unacceptable. You cannot make errors like that and whooped up emotions. So the ratio should be 1-30. The other issue is then the ELSN learners. The department states on the document sent to the schools that we recognize your special education need children, which the schools have done. Some of the schools tested themselves. But they're not in the calculation. And that's where the problem lies. So their child, we need to give that special child an opportunity to get a fair and quality education so that we can raise him to the level of the mainstream. They don't belong in the mainstream because of the problems that the teacher can't give that individual tuition to their child. And that's where we lie, that those children are catered for. I get calls every day from parents who plead with me, can you help Mr. Draai? Because when they leave primary school, they must go to the special school like Westview, who cater only for 200 children. So 300 to 400 children go back to mainstream school, which is a total disaster.
Is the indication now, as someone who has in touch with the parents, of how long the parents are planning to keep the kids out of school? And is there not a concern that so early in the academic year, the kids are kept from school?
Lerato, the parents stated they rather start now than in June. Start now and address the issues. The parents are angry, and I told the Premier, please Premier, I need your help. We need your help to turn this thing around so that the trust can be there, that there's someone is doing something about it. So we're working behind the scenes trying to solve these problems. And it's very difficult because the parents just want one thing, give our demands, and then we'll see. On Thursday night, they said they'll keep the school closed. You can't say indefinitely. I believe we need to sit around the table. We need to negotiate. There should be compromises made and stuff like that. That's what negotiations is. So we're still going to have some meetings to see how we can resolve this issue. We want stability. We stated that we will no marches, there's no picketing, there's nothing taking place today other than the parents keeping their children at home. I think I see a lot of police presence, I don't know why. But yes, that's the situation currently.
Well, that was Richard Draai, who's the secretary of the Northern Areas Education Forum, saying that the parents have vowed there'll be no protesting, no picketing, no violence, but all they really want is just to sit down with the Department of Education, have talks on how to solve the very critical issues of education in the northern areas. It's back to you in studio, Leanne.
Media Monitor, your weekly media news review program.
It was squashed some few months back, but obviously this is something that is going to hang around Praveen until it is actually dealt with. If he didn't know, then he wasn't doing his job.
In it, she described how the man's hair was frozen, although the man has no hair.
Is anybody volunteering to go to jail for him? That is not how the law works.
This particular matter makes us really look like a serious banana republic.
Unpacking headlines and giving analysis on topical issues. Sundays at 9 a.m. only on the SABC News Channel.
Vera Ephraim defied family and traditions to follow her dream.
Decided that I'm going to prove to them that they were wrong.
The first breakthrough came in when she was studying and touring in Europe.
That was my first breakthrough.
Generations was her first television debut in South Africa.
It was my first gig. I was very excited. I was very happy. I said, yeah, this is confirmation I'm at the right place.
After pain, rejection and suffering, her dream became a reality.
I followed my path, and I'm happy and grateful and blessed.
Join your host, Puleng Mulabati, on Wupilong every Friday at 17:30.
Your World makes it its business every evening to round up the leading local stories and international news